The dethroned emir was moved to Nasarawa State. Former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje signed the law for the creation of the 4 emirates in December 2019. And earlier today, the State House of Assembly repealed the Kano Emirates Council Law 2019, dissolving the emirates of Bichi, Gaya, Karaye and Rano. The bill was then, which passed third reading during plenary, was then sent to Governor Abba Yusuf for assent. All offices created under the repealed law have now been dissolved, and district heads appointed or elevated under the previous legislation to revert to the former positions. A High Court sitting in the Federal Capital Territory has granted bail to the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and his brother, Ahmad Abubakar, to the tune of 100 million naira each, with 2 sureties in like sum. One of the sureties must have landed property in the FCT. Justice Suleiman Belgari ordered that the defendants must not travel outside of the country without permission or express permission of the court. The court adopted the same conditions in the sister case before Justice Silvanus Origi of the same court, who granted Hadi Sirika, his daughter and son-in-law, bail on 9th of May 2024. Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with Abayomi Arabambi, Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party from the Apapa faction, and Callistus Okafor, faction and national chairman, Labour Party. Our focus is the Labour Party leadership crisis. Please stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. It's not news that the crisis in the Labour Party has taken a hydra-headed look, occasioned with divergent views and confusion. At the moment, we have 3 men laying claims to the national chairmanship position of the party. There is the Lamidi Apapa faction. There is also the Julius Abure faction and Callistus Okafor, who has been on the turf since 2017. In all of this, the Nigeria Labour Congress passed a vote of no confidence on Julius Abure, asking him to resign. In addition to this, brouhaha is the Julius Abure versus obedience. Julius Abure says there are saboteurs in the obedience movement who are doing all they can to pull down the party. But is this the case? And what exactly is going on in the Labour Party? A lot to unpack tonight, so let's get started. Let me get the perspective of some of my guests tonight. Callistus Okafor, faction and national chairman of the Labour Party, and Abayomi Arabambi, Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party from the Apapa faction. Good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Both men are joining us from Abuja Studios. Good evening, sirs.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Right. So, Mr. Okafor, let me start with you. And I'm starting with you because the last we heard of you and from you was May last year, when you said both Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa are fake and should stop parading themselves as national chairman. Do you still hold that claim?
Of course, Julius Abure, like I've said over and over again and again, Julius Abure is not a national, he can never be a national chairman of Labour Party. Somebody cannot be a national chairman of Labour Party in a national executive council meeting. That is not the constitution of Labour Party. So Julius Abure to emerge under before a deputy national chairman, national vice chairman. We have deputy national chairman. We have 6 national vice chairman of each of them from each geopolitical zone, and a deputy and an acting national chairman emerged as a national chairman is really crazy, but it's happened. That is what we see before now. And I believe if it is now, I assure you, in the leadership of His Excellency Senator Ahmed Tinubu, you can see he tried to do the same, play the same smartness again in Newi. where he went to do another National Executive Council meeting and called it convention. You can see, INEC wasn't there. All these things is when the head is sick, everybody is sick. But when the head is correct, every part of the body is correct. So you can see in the leadership of Mr. President, Senator Ahmed Tinubu, you can see INEC knows that what they did in Edo was wrong. And that is why you did not see them there at Newi. So as they stand, Julius Abure has never been, as long as I'm concerned, and as long as the law concerned, Julius Abure has never been the national chairman of Labour Party. And unless the House is dissolved and Julius Abure, by his form, contests for chairmanship position and he wins, that's where he'll be the national chairman of Labour Party. Thank you.
What about Lamidi Apapa? Because, I mean, in your statements, it wasn't just about Julius Abure. You said both Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa are fake and should stop parading themselves as national chairman. So what about Lamidi Apapa?
Okay. In Lamidi Apapa's case, if you had listened to me very carefully, I said Lamidi Apapa was a product of consent judgment. It was a product of the Akure Convention, that is 2014 Convention. Lamidi Apapa emerged as a national vice chairman Southwest, while I emerged as a deputy national chairman South. What it means that Lamidi Apapa was under me. Now, consent judgment came 2018 March, and they went to MENA. The same 2018, I think about October, thereabouts, and said they suspended me, who's supposed to be part of the convention. Then, thereafter, they went to Akwanga, where they said they conducted national convention, where Lamidi emerged as a deputy national chairman. And Abure also remained an acting national secretary. And you can see, in the same Edo, where Abure made himself a substantive chairman in a national executive council, in the same place Lamidi emerged as deputy national chairman South. Now, in absence of Abure, by right, Lamidi is supposed to emerge as a national chairman, acting national chairman. But unfortunately, for me, both of them were illegal chairman. I said, for me, because of the consent judgment.
All right, thank you. Mr. Abambi, let me come to you. So when you hear statements like this, when you hear Mr. Okafor say, by the constitution of the party, he is the authentic chairman, and that both Lamidi Apapa and Julius Abure are fake and should stop parading themselves as national chairman. What comes to your mind? How do you react to this claim?
Well, thank you very much. As at the time, they were having this issue, I was the state chairman in Ogun State. And by the time we did our NEC in Benin, INEC was there, and Barrister Julius Abure, I remember vividly very well, I was the one that moved that motion that changes Maria Labeke, the acting chairman then, to revert back to her position as deputy national chairman, while Barrister Julius Abure was elevated to the acting national chairman, subject to convention, and also our former national vice chairman, Northwest, that's Alhaji Farouk Umar, was also elevated to the position of national secretary, acting national secretary, and that was how we moved until the issue of the restraining order, came on board. So I will be speaking from that perspective of the law that I was involved in, because I was a plaintiff in that matter where last year, April, the FCT High Court granted the restraining order against Barrister Julius Abure. And after 2 weeks, our secretariat was invaded by the NFC then, who came to forcefully, reinstate Julius Abure, despite, the valid restraining order pending determination, of the entire suit. And as it is now, I know Barrister Julius Abure appealed that judgment. The suspension was appealed in Benin, while the restraining order was appealed in Abuja. And Alhaji Apapa, because nature above vacuum, our constitution is very clear, wherever the national chairman is capacitated or in his absence, the deputy chairman shall act. And we have 2 deputy chairmen from Akaga Convention, the Maria and Alhaji Apapa. Now Maria, has issue immediately after the NEC in Benin, and it was suspended at that NEC, while it remained only Alhaji Apapa as the deputy national chairman of the party. So in the absence of Barrister Julius Abure, then Alhaji Apapa came on board, naturally, for over a year before the appeal court in Benin and in Abuja set aside the restraining order and the suspension, which we have also filed a notice of execution and an appeal before the Supreme Court that is pending. That is, the status of, Labour Party. So, as it is now, the Court of Appeal, because I'm a man that knows my right from my left, I won't be on national TV now. I will now be saying something against an instant judgment of Nigerian court. The other people, used to do that in Labour Party, but for me, I'm not going to stand there. So the issue my guy is saying here, I am not part of it. I am not privy to it. But the one that I'm privy to, that's the restraining order and the Court of Appeal that have vacated that restraining order, maintain Abure as the national chairman. Why Alhaji Apapa has 5 motions for sale of execution, so that judgment of the Court of Appeal can be put in abeyance. So as far as our own is concerned, Alhaji Lamidi Apapa is challenging the leadership of the party under Julius Abure before Supreme Court, and we are very confident we will emerge victorious from the Supreme Court.
So, Mr. Okafor, you just heard Mr. Abayomi now. So how did you emerge as the party's national chairman? Because I know that you've been contesting the authenticity of this chairmanship position since 2017, and you went from the Federal High Court to the Appeal Court. And I remember Justice Abraham Georgeville striking out that case and ruled that it was an internal affair. How did you then emerge as the national chairman?
You heard him. You heard Abayomi when he was speaking. He said, when there is a vacuum, Constitution of Labour Party said, in absence of the national chairman, the deputy takes over. So, and I told you, if you recall, as a deputy national chairman, South, I and Julius Abure conducted a special convention 2017 that removed A.S. Salam, the late A.S. Salam with his blessed memory, as a national chairman for the same thing that Julius Abure is being accused of now: forgery, perjury, and fraud. We removed him because of these 3 crimes. Then we brought the late I forgot Omotosho. We brought the late Omotosho as our national chairman. Julius Abure and I presided over that convention as a deputy national chairman, while Julius Abure sat beside me as an acting national secretary. Then when Omotosho emerged, that is when that's the genesis of crisis of Labour Party. And we get to a point where NLC, as the people who registered this party, my group, that is Callistus Omotosho group, and A.S. Salam group. Now, it may interest you that Julius Abure crime issue, fraud issue, perjury issue did not start today. There was a forensic audit that came out, and that forensic audit indicted Julius Abure of 7.5 million. Julius Abure told me, say, Shia, please, you know I'm not the target. Salam is who we are pursuing. So why can't you, I want you to tear out that page. I said, no, this is a legal document. We can't tear it. We are not pursuing you. We only have an issue with the late Salam. So forget about it. He said, no, if all of us are pursuing him and the forensic audit indicted him, then it means that if I don't remove it, it means that we're not together. Julius Abure made a U-turn and ran to Salam. Both of them became one body. You know, both of them became one body. And we now became three groups. These three groups met, that is NLC, Callistus Okafor group, Salam group. We met, had an agreement. We want to sort out this problem. We entered into gentleman agreement. And the then NLC president, Ayuba Nwaba, said to Salam, said, listen, we have to go and turn this our agreement to a consent judgment. Salam said, listen, I don't have money to do that. I said, don't worry, I will do that. Then it was Salam, Labour Party lawyer, a son, that Ayuba Nwaba paid money, and he went and filed that consent judgment in the court. And Justice Kolawole, in his wisdom, on the 18th March 2018, gave it as a judgment, a consent judgment. And that judgment, number one part of it said, a Labour Party, though not trade union, but registered by Nigerian Labour Congress for the betterment of Nigerian workers, though they are not the one piloting it. Second one said, there shall be all-inclusive and expansive convention according to the Constitution of Labour Party. Then, let me jump to the fifth. The fifth one said, there shall be, it said that this judgment shall be irrevocably binding by all party hearing. That is the judgment of Justice Kolawole. Now, this judgment, we were waiting for all of us to come together. We met once at Top Rank Hotel. After that meeting, we never see again. The next thing we heard that there was a convention somewhere. So you can see, when you are dealing with men who has questionable characters, who could not obey consent,
I hear that.
who could not obey.
Because he brought in the angle of the NLC, let me quickly ask you this before I go back to Mr. Rabambi. Is the Labour Party answerable to the Nigerian Labour Congress?
No, you heard me when I said that the consent judgment of Kolawole said, Labour Party, though not trade union, was registered by Nigerian Labour Congress for the betterment of Nigerian workers, but they are not the one piloting it. Labour Party is a different entity. NLC is a different entity. NLC registered Labour Party, yes, for the betterment of Nigerian workers. But they're not the one. They are not even members of Labour Party. They do not have rights unless they become members of Labour Party. You can see what they're doing today. Yesterday you heard what they did. NLC is a trade union, though registered Labour Party. PDP, the founding fathers of PDP do not lay claim on PDP today. But I want to tell you one unique thing in Labour Party that makes NLC a primary stakeholder unlike every other party. NLC presidents, TUC presidents, their general secretaries, they are members of National Executive Council and National Working Convention, statutory members. They still have the Women Commission, who is a deputy chairperson in Labour Party, only a statutory position. They have a deputy secretary and some other positions. So NLC has no powers over Labour Party. They are just a stakeholder.
Thank you
in
for
Labour
that.
Party.
Mr. Abayomi, let me come to you. While you answer, or while you also react to whether or not NLC or the Labour Party is answerable to the NLC, like I said in my introduction, a lot to unpack this evening. What exactly are the factors mitigating against peace within the Labour Party? Why has this crisis remained intractable?
Well, thank you very much. Section 222 is very clear and very extant that when you register an association and you proclaim it as a labor, as a political party, it shall have a life of its own constitution that is going to guide its operation. So be that is may, the NLC that registered the party, it is very clear that if there's any edict or law that contradicts the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, such law shall be, set aside, to the extent of inconsistency. So I am quoting section 222 of the Constitution of Nigeria. Now, regarding the our kerry, that the NSC is now showing to Nigerians, they do not have the power they think they have, because what they were trying to do was just, the formation, the official launching of a Comrade Joe Ajero theater group that yesterday, the chairman of the theater group, Professor Undubuaku, decided to do coronation for, one, the former NSC president, Abdulrahim Doma, as one of the comedians in the Joe Ajero, theater group, and also Professor Sir Mamadi was also a chairman of the theater group. Why do I say this? There is no section of Labour Party Constitution that vested the right to control Labour Party. And there is no section of the Trade Union Act or even their Constitution that vested that right in them to control Labour Party. And like I said, Section 222 is very clear. And I want to thank someone, because we are national television. I want to thank Chief Femi Falana for not attending the comedy show yesterday, because we are on talking time and he made it very clear. That's why I say I want to thank him. He's a man that I'm going to hold, in a very high esteem. That there is nowhere NSC can come to say we want to control Labour Party, because you do not have the constitutional backing. Even if you register, Section 22 said there must be a constitution for that organization once you are called a political party, and the constitution shall reside with INEC. Even when you make any amendment to your constitution, you shall lodge it with INEC, not with NSC. So for them yesterday, I just want to thank them. And we have one of our own, Kenneth Okonkwo, who is from the Nollywood. He has been able to groom, new set of comedians in the Comrade Joe Ajero theater group that just came yesterday, to now launch the theater group. As far as they are concerned, they cannot remove Julius Abure. I have to be very, very fast. I have to be very, very factual. But I am a little bit worried about, this Bolekaja of something that is happening in Labour Party now. Our former president candidate, I am a little bit disappointed.
So before you go to Mr. Arabambi, kindly hold on. Now that you've mentioned the Constitution, and I want us to be very clear, what does the Constitution of the party, of the Labour Party, say about the emergence of a national chairman? Can the National Executive Council of the party appoint a national chairman?
Yes, once there is a vacuum, the Constitution says where the national chairman is unable to perform his function. It happened during President Jonathan and his boss. When anyone in position, there will already be a succession plan. Our Constitution is very clear that wherever the national chairman is unable to act, the deputy will step in. That was what happened during this my Oga tenure with A.A. Salam and my very senior Oga, Edanyahu. I am a member from Ogun State. I'm not a member of NEC. I am a member of Northern Nigeria Committee. It was 2021 that I became a member of the committee. That I know at least I can now start, to explain to Nigeria my own role. But for the deputy national chairman can become, when the national chairman is capacitated, the deputy national chairman can become the acting national chairman. That was how Alhaji Lamidi Ababa came into being. Then in the NEC, when you do a NEC meeting, NEC has the power, like we have plethora of authorities in McAfee versus Alimodu Sherry. The Supreme Court is very clear that the NEC of a party shall be the highest decision-making organ. And that's the Supreme Court, authority that nobody can contest. So where NEC promotes you to a position, you are in that capacity subject to the convention of your party, which has not been done up to today as far as I'm concerned, because both the Inewi Convention, the Asaba Convention, that Barrister Julius did was against, during the pendency of a restraining order, and the court is very clear that all judgment of the court must be obeyed, no matter how pervasive. You are not to choose which law to obey and which law not to obey. And that's why I am still going to be grateful to Chief Femi Falana, SAN, for, its role and stand concerning, this our carry of Comrade Ajero Theatre Group in Labour Party.
So when you say the NLC cannot remove Julius Abure, what do you mean?
Thank you very much. There is no, when a chairman is capacitated, they are claiming, oh, we have removed Abure. Now we are not going to ask you a question. There are process for the removal of a national chairman. And the Supreme Court says all parties must obey their constitution. I know lawyers that listen to me. All the political parties, you must obey your constitution. Now, our constitution is very clear. Our constitution does not vested any right in NSC. The only right they have is that they are member of the NWC of our party and also member of NEC. So, where certain people, out of ignorance, now consider themselves as our carry, they now on themselves assume the role of a Supreme Court in Nigeria. They promulgated their law in a justable manner, like a minibot in a civil uniform. You now invaded the secretariat of a political party. You said, oh, we have sacked this person. It doesn't have the backing of the law. If they like, they can put 10 of Professor Samadi. If they like, they can put 20 of a former national president of Abdul Omar. They will fail. They said they want to go to INEC. I dare them, let them go to INEC and submit that name to INEC for INEC now to not publish. And let me also say this. When matters are pending before Supreme Court, everybody must maintain status quo ante bellum. We have a pending matter in Supreme Court. My Oga here is also in Supreme Court over that issue then. Alhaji Lamidi Ababa is in Supreme Court against the same leadership. Some people, they now, consider themselves as apex to Supreme Court. They said they have invaded the political party secretariat. Whereas the function of Ajero is to look after the welfare of Nigerian workers. It's not for him, because of his personal ambition, to think it can be clever by half. Though, I still want to talk about our president candidate, his involvement in this, our crisis, is somehow very alarming and is condemnable. If I still have time, I am going to be explicit about my position.
All right, we'll get to that. But there are those who have said the constitution of the Labour Party is faulty and perhaps needs a comprehensive review. Do you share this sentiment?
You said what?
There are those who have said or who are saying that the constitution of the Labour Party is somehow faulty and perhaps needs a comprehensive review. So I'm asking if you share this sentiment.
Yes. Yes, of course. But when you have a faulty constitution, where you have a defaulted constitution, you will convene your National Working Committee. National Committee will convene NEC. You now make all those amendments subject to the approval. It is only in National Convention that you can amend your constitution. NSC has their legal team. They have Department of Legal team. They have legal advisor in the NSC. I don't know how they are, trying to advise them. And I'm also asking the president of the NBA, they need to look into Labour Party. We have all manner of people who misled, who misadvise their principal. It is only our convention that can change anything, that can, amend our constitution. And who is the proper person to convene National Convention? Let me be very clear. the national chairman of that political party shall be, the person that will preside over that convention and the national secretary. So how could people who promulgated their own law, elevated some comedian as chairman and co-chairman, they are now asking INEC that, we want to start doing World Congress, we want to doing a local government congress. For God's sake, we are not in Nollywood, where you have at once in one. They need to know, and even the man that taught them this, my very good brother, Kenneth, should need to go and, take them back, to the rudiment of this Nollywood. So that when you want to be a comedian, you have to be a comedian. They have to go and look for a very competent director from the Nollywood. Not for them to just somersaulted themselves, into the arena of politics, where they think, by just their own jurisdiction, they can assume jurisdiction for Supreme Court. We have a matter of leadership pending, and certain people will just choose to ignore the highest court in the land, and they are now doing, what I call coronation of some comedian that, that want to enter Nollywood so that they can start performing for you and I to enjoy ourselves.
All right, gentlemen, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will continue this conversation. You're watching Politics Tonight, everyone. We'll take a break and I'll be right back. Please stay with us.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news. Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight, our focus is the Labour Party leadership crisis, and I've been speaking with two gentlemen from the party. Abayomi Arabambi, Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party from the Apapa faction, and I also have Callistus Okafor, faction and national chairman of the Labour Party. Gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us on the program. Now, let's move on quickly, and let me come to Mr. Okafor. There are those who had expected Mr. Peter Obi to intervene. I mean, there are those who have expected him to call all parties together. Because, I mean, before now, he says he would leave the party if peace does not return to the party. And now he has said that he won't leave the party. In your own opinion, why has he remained mute on this crisis?
When you said that they wanted him to intervene in the crisis of the party, the crisis did not start today. If you recall, this crisis started when he entered Labour Party. As a leader, or as a man who believes that he's Mr. Perfect, who believes he's a clean man, who want to rule Nigeria, lead Nigeria, who believe that he's the best candidate. I believe that when he came to Labour Party, that the first thing he would have done is to bring all the parties together and have one house before going out there for war. But you can see, unfortunately, he couldn't do that. And it's very clear that when you can't take lead and take good care of your immediate family, you can't rule Nigeria. So for me, I would tell you that what happened here yesterday is really funny. If you recall, Julius Sabure came out some time ago after His Excellency P2B made his budget. Brought his brought out the expenses they made in election. Julius Sabure came out and said he gave P2B 850 million. That 850 million was not inclusive in what he gave Nigerians. Now, if you also recall, during this crisis, when people were talking, why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing that? He came out and said that he condemned Newi Convention, that is illegal. That Julius Sabure will first submit himself for forensic audit. Julius Sabure, again, forensic audit. Now, immediately he said that. You can hear last week, Julius Sabure came out and said, listen, I dare anybody who will bring forensic audit me, including P2B. He dare P2B to mention it again or to bring forensic audit. P2B look at himself. For me, he look at himself. Nah, I can't dare this man. Who knows? Only both of them knows. If what they know that we don't know, there is something they know we don't know. And after challenging him publicly, and the next thing is, you saw what happened, that he was passing by and he came in to see them, to advise them, so that they can come together and all that. You can see it's really, right. It's really laughable.
Mr. Okafor, are you not worried about the future and the image of the party if this crisis continues?
Yes, I am worried, and that is why I'm concerned. The image of the party is very important to all of us. The image of the party. When a party refuses to do according to the constitution of the party, when a party refuses to obey a court judgment, that is what you see.
So what do you think?
Labour Party is not only party.
What do you think is the way forward here?
The way forward. We have started it. Forget about what the way forward. We have started it. Forget about what NLC is doing, because they are just like my brother here called them bunch of comedians. They are comedians that are doing their theater art something. So the only people who has the right to bring this problem to an end is Callistus group, Apapa group. I won't use the word Julius group because Julius still have some criminal issues to go and answer. Let me tell you, please. Constitution of Labour Party, Article 14, talk about discipline. It says, when any member do anything that brings the name of the party to disrepute, that member should step aside. You must step aside. You can't be a judge in your own case. So people see Julius Sabure as chairman. I don't see him as a chairman. For me, he is not. So I would say the group of Farouk, that is the national secretary, his group and Papa group and Callistus group come together, sit down and discuss. A matter of fact, Arabambi is here. We have been meeting, Callistus group and Papa group, we have been meeting for some time now, and we have reached in a compromise. And that is why we went to NLC to meet with them. I said, listen, you are also primary stakeholders. Let us come together. Coming together is what you see they're doing. It's only the national secretary of the party according to the constitution.
Mr. Bayomi, let me come to Mr. Bayomi. So, I mean, just like I asked Mr. Okafor, how far has the Board of Trustees gone in resolving this crisis? I mean, there is also Governor Alex Oti, and then the presidential candidate of your party in the 2023 general election.
Well, thank you very much. We don't have Board of Trustees in Labour Party as of today, and the Board of Trustees, they know who are the part of the great Board of Trustees. It is going to be at the convention. The last convention we had was at Akwanga. So for anybody to have, mention anybody as a chairman or secretary or member of the Board of Trustees, it's a mission that is bound to fail. That's number one. And number two, you've asked about, people asking Peter Obi to intervene. For me, it is the action of Mr. Peter Obi and his campaign team in the last election, and this NLC Labour Party in Brogilo has shown that Peter Obi is not fit to govern Nigeria. And I'm going to premise my point, my explanation on 2 points. Number one, I have it on authority that Peter Obi endorses Barrister Julius Abure. Peter Obi did not endorse what NLC did yesterday. I have a message from Barrister Julius Abure that says he endorses them, but he did not authorize what the former national chairman of NCP, who did not and never contested any general election in his 13 years rule, claimed to be reading from a WhatsApp message. So my position is this. I am begging Mr. Peter Obi, which divide do you belong to? If you want to prove you can govern Nigeria, did you endorse Barrister Julius Abure, or it is NSC, that you are pitching your tent with? You can't be lukewarm. You are neither here nor there. That is not good for a leader. As a leader, I challenge you that you endorse Barrister Julius Abure and you were against NSC. But for your spokesman, and please, I want to correct this. We have dissolved Labour Party campaign, Presidential Campaign Council, please. If Tanko wants to address himself, he should address himself as a PA or media aide to Mr. Peter Obi. They should not be using spokesperson or forbid dirty. There is nothing like we are not campaigning. We have a city president who have been declared, whose election have been declared valid by the Supreme Court. So Labour Party must be very careful to be using Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council. We are not campaigning until 2027, and we do not have any presidential candidate towards that time. So I am challenging Peter Obi. If you can say you can challenge Barrister Julius Abure convention in the open, that the convention is illegal, and you at the same time run to him to endorse him, and at the same time you are telling us that you endorse NSC, it is like you are probating and reprobating. So I put it to him that he endorses Barrister Julius Abure and not NSC, and if I'm lying, he should come and by himself, not to any spokesperson. He should come to tell Nigeria which of the divide he belongs. But I know he's on the side of Barrister Julius Abure.
We sincerely hope, from our end here, we sincerely hope peace returns to the Labour Party. And we wish you the very best on that. But let's quickly move on to other issues. It's almost a year since President Bola Tinubu assumed office as the president of the country. How do you assess this administration so far? Mr. Okafor, let me start with you.
Reverend B?
Yes, please.
Okay, we are Labour Party people, but we are Nigerians, governed and by Mr. President Senator Ahmed Tinubu. I will tell you, he has done fantastically very well. At least here in Nigeria today, you can see there is freedom of speech by you and I. And that is why you see people coming out saying all sorts of things. He stands as a father. He never worry anybody. Have you seen any radio station or TV station shut down? No. Have you heard there's a pressman that is locked up there? No. Look at infrastructure. Look at his Minister of Works, David Mai. Look at what he's doing. He's doing fantastically very well. Look at, do you know that somebody who went abroad December for medicals and coming to Abuja today, we never know Abuja again. We miss his road. Look at what his minister, Wike, is doing, has turned Abuja to London. Has turned Abuja to London. Honestly speaking, I want to thank Mr. President. He has done marvelously very well. We cannot, because we're a Labour Party, and criticize him. Indeed, Mr. President, I give you 98% for today.
All right. So one more, before I come to Mr. Arabambi, what more interventions do you think the president needs to do to fix the economy?
You see, this is a man I know very well. He's not my friend, though. I have not met with him. But you see, from Lagos, I live in Lagos. As a governor till today, honestly speaking, I want to let you know that Mr. President is a man, I believe, that will fix this nation. He's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. And you see, immediately he came in, people misunderstood. If you recall, during campaign, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar said he will remove subsidy. His Excellency Peter Obi said he will remove subsidy. He said he will remove subsidy. He came that day to fulfill his campaign promises. He announced that subsidy will be removed. And you can see, people see it's a temporary thing. Honestly speaking, it's a temporary thing. And you can see he's taking it one after the other. Look at foreign investment. Look at the way he's going. Look at the way he's going. I'm telling you the truth. If he continues with this, immediately the subsidy was removed. And you see, fuel, Nigerians will start talking, because we Nigerians, we must talk. That is our right. When the thing is not favorable for us, we must talk. That is the truth.
All right.
So having said that, I want to let you know that Mr. President is on the right track. And with what he's doing now with foreign investment, when foreigners start coming here, start investing, we have factories. I'm telling you the truth. Things will get better. By the time he get to second year, finishing second year, I assure you, Nigeria will be a better place.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Okafor. Mr. Arabambi, let me come to you. Let me have your assessment of the president's first year in office.
Well, I am going to actually appreciate the president for the fact that Labour Party is here alive in Nigeria. I have never seen a man so vilified, so insulted, a president of Nigeria, that someone will go on air to say, we do not have a president in Nigeria. And that station will still be up and standing. Who can dare that during President Olusegun Obasanjo? Who are you to come and say there shall be an end to democracy once a president is sworn in? Or less than the judiciary. You see all manner of people, only from Labour Party. I must thank him, because I know what could have happened. Even President Buhari will not tolerate this nonsense from anybody. But he has shown that he's a leader that has that capacity. I don't know him. I only know the wife, as a member of the same church. But I don't know President Tinubu. I've not met him. We have not had anything together. But as far as I'm concerned, as a Nigerian, he has been so nice. Because I know if you are during former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who is Labour Party, I know the office will have even be brought down. Because you cannot just go on air and insult the office of the president to the level that Aisha Yusufu will come on air and say we have an illegitimate president in Nigeria, knowing fully well that Supreme Court has given final decision on that. Now, on the economy, he inherited a very bad economy.
Kindly do that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, he inherited a very bad economy, but he's doing his best, because we have an economy that time that was running on debt, where 90% of our income was used to service the debt, our interest, not even the debt proper. But I think, with the way he's doing, bringing in more, a foreign company, to come and invest in Nigeria. By that time now, when people now continue to import from us, it will strengthen our naira, and our naira will get value rather than, relying on importation that was done by the last administration of by President Buhari.
Thank you very much. It's been an interesting conversation with you. I've been speaking with Abayomi Arabambi, Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party from the Opapa faction, and Callistus Okafor, faction and national chairman of the Labour Party. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on Politics Tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And thanks a lot for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG, using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Good night, everyone.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng, the game starts now.
Kano State, the commercial capital of northern Nigeria, is on the march to progress and innovation with Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf in the saddle. Be part of the vision that is transforming Kano State into a hub for economic growth and opportunities. Hear directly from the governor as he engages the people, listens to their concerns, and shares his vision for a brighter future. Explore the developmental projects embarked upon by his administration to change lives, from infrastructure, healthcare, education to tourism. Watch the rich history of the culture and tradition of Kano and savor the vibrant spirit that unites the center of commerce on Kano Spotlight, Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.